dialed in, but you are a bit straight. Try to opens up a bit, okay? How was it, guys? So most of you were guilty of put their knees back. Try to focus on, especially on this braking zone, on the downhill, not to go back with your head, but more with your weight on your heels and more with your hips, okay? Because that creates stability on your bike on braking zone. And then most of you were guilty of with your inside foot out. So remind to push both of the feet on the pegs, okay?
We normally do this. If we see any foot dabs, foot coming off, it's 10 push-ups.
So
Alright, listen, I'll be keeping an eye out, he'll be keeping an eye out. For all the dabs here, we'll have no problem calling you out. You don't want to see any foot off. Today is about doing it right versus going fast. 10 push-ups, just saying.
So, roller, standing, sitting in the corner, and then push your bike, push yourself on the outside, okay? This works, correct? Having both feet on the pegs help you in the corner and going outside, because most of the guys are going inside and they are slower on that turn, okay? Most of the guys are maybe sitting roughly, but they're scared. Instead, they go forward with their knees. Look down, keep your knees back, okay? Pulling the clutch. That's why can cause you harm, but also always going to pull the clutch.
How you doing, mister?
Good, yeah.
You good?
Is this the first time I've done like a group?
First thing.
Alright.
I think it's good, right? It's obviously it's a little difficult when there's bikes on the other side on.
It's probably quite hard to talk to a big group.
Yeah, but he's also learning.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go around and
Yeah, yeah.
help him out.
It's doing really good.
Think so?
Yeah. So he's making sense and it's understandable what he's trying to say. So.
Awesome. That's good for having me here. I appreciate you saying
No,
that.
that's no worries, no worries.
one-hand drill again. I don't know if you guys peeked over and caught that. So what we did differently with the one hand, we'll probably do that for your guys' second set out, is that I allowed you to stand and sit, so that we can get a little bit of a feel of what the transition felt like from sitting to standing and from standing to sitting. That transition wasn't just once you got static within it, it was actually the transition to and from. That's what was really cool when they took the hand off. So I think that would be good for us to practice. We're going to focus on kind of the chicane left, right here. I know I said I wasn't going to talk a whole lot about line choice, but I am going to reference it. It's really important that we do not jump this table anywhere to rider's left. To be quite honest, I wouldn't mess around with this jump anywhere to rider's left of where I'm standing right here. So therefore, we got to really think about how can we take this turn, be able to hit this jump here or to rider's right of where I'm at. And what that requires, everybody hear me okay? What that requires is some proper setup in the left-hand turn. If you ride the rut and follow the rut the whole way, and the main line that developed this morning, that will put you here. This isn't going to do the trick. This is creating way too tight of a corner to try to get back to rider's right. All of the people that enter here end up drifting left, and they end up in all of that mess. Right. Okay. So this plays into it, right? So if we don't set up this corner and we drift wide on the exit, what does it do for the next section? It then creates a tight corner before that tabletop, which then is probably going to put you to rider's right and then close you off for the next corner. It's like a domino effect. You pick one bad line here and it sets you up 6 corners later for the wrong line. So motocross is a compromise. You always have to give up a little bit of time here to gain it here. Think into the future a little bit in the sense that, well, I need to set myself up. So I had everybody in group 2 entering here. We're not turning anymore. I know it seems obvious, but if you were doing this wrong, you're going to be the person that's still carving this takeoff as you go up it. Make your pivot all at once, get that bike straight. When we start to ride in that way, it'll give you a ton of confidence because you can do that time and time and time again. I don't care how high level you are, if you're carving up a jump face coming out of a corner with acceleration bumps and hard packed dry dirt and rocks, you're never going to be consistent with that. Get the bike straight, get the meat of the tires down on the ground. Once you do that, well, now you've opened up a beautiful straightaway for yourself in that next section too. So we don't have to worry about tiptoeing our way around that kind of sweeper before the tabletop. As far as body position goes, hopefully Alessandro mentioned this, but if you didn't, start by standing and then begin sitting at the end of the corner and work your way back. Did he mention that?
You're just sitting on acceleration with this big thing.
Right, so sitting in under acceleration, so that would be kind of my starting point, right? And then I'd sit for the exit of this corner. If I start to get comfortable with that, maybe I can start to sit at the 70% mark. Maybe I can start to sit at the 60 or 50% mark a little bit earlier and earlier. What you want to avoid doing is just seeing a corner and thinking that the default is, oh, well, here comes the corner, let's sit before we get to it, and sit all the way through it. You'll never learn where you should actually sit for the corner if your default is sit at the beginning, always. Through, and then reverse engineer it, and you'll learn exactly where the sitting makes most sense.
Why would you sit? Like, what's the benefit of sitting rather than just staying stood?
Good question. So he asked, why would I even sit in this corner? Some of the group 2 guys asked the same thing. They're like, honestly, it just adds in an extra step for me, and I just stand all the way through. Absolutely. The reason I would sit is because I'm ramping up acceleration as I'm coming out of this corner, and it's pretty slippery. I like to just have that insurance a little bit that I have more weight down into the tires. So I can sit into the bike, keep the weight a bit more into the tires, and also it's a bit of an energy saver for me too. So from that 50% mark out, if I have the option to be able to sit while I'm accelerating, I'm going to choose that option, right? But as far as being able to, our goal for this first one is figure out gear selection, figure out line choice, get this turn opened up, try to get back to riders right for the takeoff and see if we can get that consistently. Did he have you guys going 3 or 4 laps over there?
4.
4. Okay. We'll do the same thing over here. If it starts to feel too long, I'll cut it down to 3. Okay, first group. The other type of 2 wheels. I feel like the mountain bike and BMX bike, especially when you're young, translates extremely well. I raced BMX when I was really little, so when I was like your age, I was BMX. Then I went to kind of like dirt jump bikes and spent a lot of time on downhill mountain bikes and cross-country mountain bikes. But I knew how to wheelie things. I knew how to pump through stuff to gain momentum. I knew how to pump in through a rut. Like, I don't know if anybody caught it other than me, but kind of like pumped himself into the rut quickly. I saw 80 in the Yamaha kind of doing that because you're going super slow, which is great. Now, what I want you to do is that when you leave here at 80, you're doing exactly what I would want you to do in a day like today. Now the key is, can you continue to ride like that while increasing, going to 40%, going to 50%, going to 60%, and can we keep the hips as exaggerated as you have them? Can you keep the heel drop as exaggerated as you have it, right? Like you have good awareness of where your body is, and you're just like really just amplifying all of it. So now it's like, can you creep up that intensity little bits at a time and keep it? Yeah. Right? That's it. So that you're in a good spot.